'cause you want me to miss you, no, that's not it. Just for half an hour and you thought that I'd rather caress your body, but I'm just not thirsty. Thought I'd be having your baby, but I guess I'm just too lazy. I would understand if you would just calm yourself down. Could you give me a little alone time? It'll be just like that one time, you know, when I ran away from home and ended up in New York. Sorry, it'll be just a few minutes, drying my hair and I'm putting a face on. We meet at the door and you look at me softly and say, I love you, wanted you to know. It'll be like the beginning, you swear that I'd rather caress your body, but I'm just not thirsty. Thought I'd be having your baby, but I guess I'm just too lazy. I would understand if you would just calm yourself down until the cows come home. Until the cows come home, the cows come home, the cows come home. Until the cows come home, the cows come home, the cows come home, the cows come home, the cows come home. Until the cows come home, 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 the cows come home. Thought I'd be having your baby. Why are you calling me crazy? I'd rather be pushing daisies than listening to you. Squawk. Thought I'd be having your baby. Why are you calling me crazy? I'd rather be pushing daisies than listening to you. Over and over and over and over and over and over.
Welcome to Raw. My name is Lena and I'm here with The Yellow. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for joining tonight. And we just heard No Thanks.
Yes.
So it's very jazzy. You have a very jazz feel, I think, to it, to your music. Do you have any classical training or?
I don't. I was in a high school percussion band, but other than that, that wasn't really like formal kind of traditional concert band. Other than that, I'm self-taught.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
very surprised by that because with the jazzy feel, it's very hard for a drummer. A lot of people that are drummers like, oh, I'm into rock and bang, bang, bang. You have to be smooth, very in control. And,
Okay.
you know, so it was great sound. That's incredible.
Yeah,
that
thank
you have
you.
no training in that. That's really good.
Yeah, I've been working on it a lot. I've been playing for about 6 years, yeah, it's a lot of just listening to a lot of people I like and trying to emulate that. So it's a lot of copying.
Oh, okay.
But,
Copying the best.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to who you think the best is in a minute. And for you, your training?
It's sort of all over the place. I had some basic lessons growing up, you know, then I was self-taught through, I guess, my teenage years, and then I had some classical training and jazz training as well. And then I ended up getting a degree in music from CSI, College of Staten Island.
Oh, nice. Is that where you're both from, Staten Island?
I'm from Staten Island.
I'm from Alabama.
Alabama. How'd you end up here on Staten Island?
That's a story in and of itself. But yeah, I've been here for about 8 years. And yeah,
Nice.
so.
Very nice. Obviously, you like it. You're still here. Mm-hmm. So no thanks, Alabama.
Something like that.
So now, who wrote the song "No Thanks"?
I wrote the song. Yeah, I write the songs and then I bring them to to Mark and tell him everything about them. And
Yeah,
then we
Grove
kinda-
writes the songs and then I write the drums to them, and then we kind of change things from there and complete it.
So this song, what really were you trying to put out there with No Thanks? You know,
Well, I think with No Thanks, there's a few songs that we've been playing for the past few years that where I kind of was tapping into a voice that I couldn't quite tap into prior to the past couple of years, where it was sort of, you know, no, I don't really want to deal with your BS type of thing, you know, where I kind of was walked over a lot and finally sort of found this voice, this anger, this, you know, almost sarcastic, no, never mind, I don't really need that in my life type of feel. So there's a few songs that I kind of put that into and got out of my system, and No Thanks is one of those.
very good, very nice. Jazzy feel, so now I know where that comes from with your jazzy little training. Very nice. All right, the next song that we're going to hear is called Tense. This is also another jazzy feel. You write it and you collaborate a little bit, add to it?
I added drums. I write drum parts to it that I think would complement it. I try not to just play drums the whole way through or just be loud all the time. I try to be quiet when it's quiet and just have them not be overbearing, just sound natural. So
Okay, so we're going to listen to Tense.
I don't talk to no one and they don't talk back to me.
We're back with The Yellow, and we just heard Tense. So you wrote that song again, jazzy sound. This is one of the longer songs, I think, that you played tonight. So tell me a little bit about this song, and then also a lot of your influences to get your sound.
Okay, well, Tense is a bit of a special song for me. It comes from sort of a place of looking for connection. I think when we're younger, it's easier to be open and more vulnerable and to connect on those levels with people. And then as we get older, at least in my experience, as I've gotten older, I've noticed it's harder. People have more defenses and insecurities, and it's, you know, walls that are up. And Tense is sort of a reaching from the heart space through the gaze into someone else's heart space and having that connection. So I talk about the tense of your eyes as a place that I'd like to camp in, you know, sort of being seen and seeing someone else in a vulnerable, more genuine way.
Romantic in a way, right? Intimacy, to get that connection with someone.
Right.
That's a little different than, oh, I love you.
Right.
So what are some of your influences?
I remember I went to IS-24 up on Cleveland Avenue in Staten Island, and they have I remember my media teacher, they teach a media class, which is kind of like a film production television class. They teach the middle schoolers, which I think is really cool, but they have the media show every year. And that particular year they were, it's like kids lip syncing on stage, you know? But that year they were doing the 80s, and 80s hair band, drummer, that whole image is very, very strong in 80s culture. And I remember just being in the media show and being in Def Leppard.
Oh, I was just going to mention them,
Yeah.
right? It was like
Yeah,
they were big. They had a lot of
yeah.
hits.
So I got, for a little while, I was a kid, I was into hair bands, you know, and just drummers are big in that kind of way. So
Right.
It's definitely what got me interested. I remember trying to play along to just the tracks, just sitting in the audience, just watching other kids go up. So that was definitely the first time I remember trying to, like, you know, play drums in my head and then think of, okay, this is cool. But eventually I started to listen to more, you know, Led Zeppelin. I got a hold somehow of Led Zeppelin's second LP2. And
At some point you had to get to jazz, because what you're playing tonight is nothing like that.
well, that's the thing, because John Bonham, drummer of Led Zeppelin, he is what I consider my ideal definition of a rock drummer, which is a drummer who's not a jazz drummer but has some of the jazz tricks. But when the jazz kids watch him, they cringe because of how loud he plays them. When the rock kids watch him, they are really excited because of all those cool tricks, you know. And I think I try to channel that a lot. I don't call myself a jazz drummer. I don't think of myself as a jazz drummer. I think of myself as a rock drummer, but I try to have some of that flavor and some of those
Nothing
techniques.
ordinary for you, right?
Well,
Hey, listen, you want to set yourself apart. That's understandable. Now we're going to listen to The Taller Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear that and we'll be back.
I would like to get a lower back tattoo. It's all a man than I would like to get a lower back tattoo. It's all a man than it's all a man than
Okay, that was The Taller Man, and actually that's the longest song that you played tonight. So there are different sections of this song that you kind of connect together. So why don't you, that's different, very different.
Right. I don't necessarily think of it as sections, but it is kind of how we sort of put it together when we collaborated with it. But I tend to write sometimes in stories, whereas in music there's always some form of repetition, but I tend to play around with what repeats and when it repeats. And so The Taller Man, it's really the music that's telling the story more so than the words. And so there was definitely different parts of the story that came out differently. So there was like those sections that sort of exist there.
Now, the finished product, though, you did together.
Yeah.
So you kind of threaded your way through that?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. Well, Grove had come to me with this song pretty much complete with its many sections and how it was, which is interesting for me because I had to write around a lot of that, and there were a lot of sections that we ended up not using, but I think I did an okay job of just trying to thread it together. Yeah, it was definitely not like our other songs, just because it was mostly instrumental, this song, and so I think the instruments tell the story more than, because there's really only a few lines of lyrics, and so this song is kind of where we get to tell our story just more through.
What the Taller Man? What's the end message that you're sending out there on that?
The Taller Man is from a new space, whereas I spoke about the previous songs being from finding my own voice. I've sort of integrated that, and now that's a part of me, and now I'm sort of like, what am I using that voice for, and how am I using it to evolve as a person? And so Taller Man is sort of navigating through confusion in life and taking things that don't make sense and using music to either create sense out of nonsense or just understand it.
Now, the next song we're going to hear is Things I Didn't Say. And this one's really short, so it's whatever you forgot in the really long one. Let's hear Things I Didn't Say, and we'll be back.
You understand me underwater, and I kissed you, I kiss another day. And I love the things that touch you. Your hair is poetry, your eyes are the sky in love and go. You always carry them all up there, always telling me to go to sleep. I've frozen roses for months. I love you more than I know, yeah. And I will wait for the clouds to rain and evaporate when she condensates. I have to find a way to never lose you. You are a great magnolia, climb blue light through blinds, will surely touch you as I want to. And I like your face, but not just the way the skin lays on your skull. Well, it's you. It's you. And I will wait for the clouds to rain and evaporate when she condensates. The breath he makes in my hand, the breath she makes in my hand, the breath he makes and the breath she makes in my hand, in my hand, in my hand, my hand.
Things I Didn't Say with the Yellow. Things I Didn't Say right now is, how did you even get the name The Yellow?
Well, the yellow is
It's a nice color.
going to be the color of the envelope in which we receive our greatest award in the future. Not right now. We'll get there, but it will happen. It'll come in a yellow envelope,
A yellow envelope.
I believe, yes.
Okay. This is a premonition from you.
It's a very strong one.
Okay. The Grammys come in a yellow envelope?
I can't say anymore.
Okay. Okay, that's funny. The Yellow. Your music can be found on, do you have any websites that you're?
We're on SoundCloud. You can find 5 demo tracks that we recorded. It's soundcloud.com/theyellowthemusic.
The Yellow.
Yeah, we're on Instagram as The Yellow, the music, and Facebook as well.
The Yellow, the music.
Yes.
Okay, just so they know to look that up.
Yeah.
How long have you two known each other?
We met, I think, almost 2 years ago through a mutual friend. We had been, Grove had been in a previous band and they needed a drummer. So
it worked.
yeah, it just kind of worked out that way.
That's good. That's very good. Anything else that you would like to throw in there about things you didn't say? I want to make sure you get to say it.
Things I didn't say is really, it's a little bit simpler. It's just, there was sort of a song that I sort of wrote in my head over the course of a relationship I was in. I never said them. I wrote it in a song, and now it's one of the songs I play all the time.
Now you feel relieved?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us again. Thanks for tuning in out there and sticking around. The Yellow, the music. Check it out. See you soon.